Good morning, grade 9 learners. Welcome to today's natural science lesson, proudly brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education. My name is Milton Gomo. Let's look at the structure of our lesson today. The knowledge strand of our lesson is life and living, and the topic of our lesson is body systems. And the subtopic of our lesson is the alimentary canal and digestion. So this is the structure of our lesson. Let's go through the objectives of our today's lesson. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to define the alimentary canal. You should also be able to identify the parts of the alimentary canal and their functions. Then finally, you have to be able to describe the process of digestion. So these are the objectives of the day. And the source of our lesson, that's kept document, page 57. Okay, now, so done the objectives, let's look at the pre-knowledge, what you need to recall, what you need to recap, so that we can easily fit to our today's lesson and understand everything that we're going to be discussing as we go through. Right, we need to recall what we just did in one of the topics recently in our grade 9, and the topic of healthy dieting, right, where we discussed a lot about nutritious diet, a balanced diet, all the foods that we need to make sure that we eat so that our diet stays healthy, right? So shown on the picture there, you can see a number of types that are very essential for our diet. So we need to recall that. And with that information, we can now easily start off by answering the baseline activity, which is given in the form of a digestive system diagram. Right. In that case, you have to label the parts that are labeled, okay, so that you are able to recall everything that we discussed under the digestive system. Right. The instruction says label the diagram of the digestive system. If you check there, it is numbered from number 1 up to number 12. So I'll need you to fill all those boxes with correct labels for each. All right, I'm going to give you a time of 4 minutes to quickly work on the assessment. Thereafter, look at the corrections. Let's get started. Right, welcome back. Let's look at the assessment and then we check out your answers. I hope you were able to complete or fill in the boxes with the correct answers to each levels there. Right, let's start with number one. Let's check on number one. On number one, we've got the month. Okay, so you just fill inside the box, right, for the month. Okay, right. So you need just to fill all those boxes. Right, number two. Where is number two? Right, number two, that's the term. Okay, number two, that's the term. All right. Now we check number three. Number three is done over there. That is the liver. So number three is the liver. So cross-check your answers and make sure that whatever you wrote there, if it's not correct, you write down the correct level for each of those. Right. We're down to number 1, 2, 3. Let's continue from number 4. Let's check out. Number 4 is the what? Number 4 is just in the underside of the what? Of the liver there. There it is. This one is the gallbladder. Right, that's the gallbladder. Number 4. Right, then we go to number 5. Let's look at number 5. Number 5 is down there. That is the anus. Right. Number 5 is the anus. Then number 6, just above number 5. There it is. Number 6. It is the what? It is the rectum. So we're down to number 4, 5, and 6. Let's locate number 7 and label again. Right. Number 7 is the what? It's the colon. Right. It's the colon. Then number 8, where is number 8? Right. As you can see, that long coiled tube. That one is the small intestine. Right. That's number 8. Okay. Let's move on to number 9. Right. Number 9. Let's look at number 9. Number 9 is over there. Right. Number 9 is the pancreas. Pancreas, that's number 9. Then our left is number 10, 11, and number 12. Right. Number 10, where's number 10? Right. This one, we're quite familiar with it. That's the stomach. Okay. That's stomach. Now, number 11 and 12. Right. What do we have in number 11? That's the esophagus. Right. Then finally, number 12, we've got the larynx. So these are the responses to our baseline assessment for those who managed to get at least 10 levels and above. Excellent work. Keep it up. Then if there's any of you who did not manage to write down the correct levels, note down the corrections, because we're going to meet these kind of questions again in your end of term tests and examinations. Okay, right, let's move on as we look at the terminology of the day. Right, what we have, the new terms and the keywords that we need to be able to define and be able to use with understanding. The first one, I'm going to look at the nutrient. What is a nutrient? This one is an ingredient which nourishes the body. Right, if you have to remember from our previous lesson under the health diet, we spoke about these nutrients, okay, and we're able to name them and the function for each of them. All right, ingestion, this is the intake of food through the mouth, right? So when we eat, we first of all put food in the mouth, that is taking in, and we refer that as ingestion. Okay, right. Digestion, right? This one is in two processes, okay, or in 2 stages. You've got the mechanical and the chemical, right? Process of digestion, right? This one is a process that converts food into soluble nutrients. So digestion is a process of converting food into soluble nutrients. And there are 2 types of them. That is the mechanical digestion and the chemical digestion. I'm going to look into each of these in detail as we go through our lesson. Right. Absorption. The soluble nutrients are taken up by the bloodstream in the intestines. So that's where absorption takes place. Right. Our next term is saliva. This is a liquid which is secreted into the mouth by the salivary glands. Okay, right. As we look at the last part of our terminology, we look at what is called digestion. Right. Undigested and waste products get passed out of the body through the anus. Right. Remember when we label our digestive system, we also label the what? The anus. Okay, right. So feces, these are the waste material, which is what? Excreted through the anus. Okay, enzyme. Okay, enzymes are proteins that help speed up metabolism or the chemical reactions that take place in our bodies. Okay, so these metabolic reactions, okay, take place in the presence of what? Of enzymes. Okay, right. Then we've got the other term. This one is peristalsis. Right. This is a series of wave-like muscle contractions that move food through the digestive tract. Okay, right. So this is our terminology. Right. Let's look at our lesson in detail. Let's start off by looking at the what? The alimentary canal. Okay, what's the function of the alimentary canal? Right, it carries food through different parts of the digestive system and allows waste to exit the body. That's the function, the core function of the alimentary canal, right? To carry food through different parts of the digestive system and also to allow waste to exit what? The body, right? Now, we look at the what? At the structure of the alimentary canal, okay? The components of the alimentary canal, okay? Right. Now, the main components that we're talking about in this case, okay, include the what? The mouth, okay? Let's look at the mouth from the diagram shown there. There is the mouth, right? Is one of the main components of the what? Alimentary canal. That's the mouth over there, right? Remember, during the process of ingestion, we take in food through the what? Through the mouth, okay? Right, then we've got the esophagus. Can you locate the esophagus from the diagram? Yes, it is just clear up there, right? That long tube would connect the mouth to the what? To the stomach, right? It's called the esophagus, right? I'll just dwell is one of the main components for the stomach itself, right? The stomach, that's the stomach there, right? Then we've got intestines. Remember that intestines are right into two parts, okay? We've got the small intestine and the what? Large intestine, right? There it is shown in our diagram. Let's look at the large intestine. There it is. We also refer to it as the colon, right? Then we've got the small intestine. There it is, okay? Then we've got the rectum. Where is the rectum? Let's look at it. Yes, it is over there, just above the what? The anus. And then down there, the anus, that's where we've got the what? The opening of what? Is the waste being taken out from our bodies, right? During the excreta process. Okay, right. So that's the function of the alimentary canal. Okay, right now let's look at what happens to the food that we eat. Right, the food we eat needs firstly to be broken down into smaller particles so that it can be absorbed by the body. Remember, the body cannot absorb the large quantities and chunks of food that we take in. Okay, so we need, first of all, have that food broken down into soluble particles that can easily be absorbed by what? By the body, right? Okay, right. So now what happens? It all begins, right? From the mouth, right? From the mouth, where we have got the food taken in there, right? It's shown. The food that we take in, what happens to it? Let's follow that flow diagram. There it is. It goes down the esophagus. The digestion takes place there, right? In the stomach, there it goes. Okay. The end products of digestion, which means undigested food, is the one which is what? Taken out of our bodies, right? Through the anus is what? Waste material. Okay. So it begins in the mouth, right? We swallow the food, then it travels to the what? To the stomach through that long tube called the esophagus. Right in the stomach, we've got also what? Chemical digestion taking place, whereby the enzymes are also playing their role, right? In making sure that the food that we eat, right, is turned to soluble material, which is then absorbed by the small intestine, right? Then now, The end products, which means the ones that have not been digested by the digestive system, is taken out as as waste material. As you can see, there is shown as it goes out of the body through the anus. Right. So that's what happens to the food that we take in. All right. Now let's look at digestion itself. Okay. Digestion is in some phases. Okay. It is not just one process. Okay. It is a process which is made up of many stages or phases. So we're going to look at them in detail, one by one. Find out what happens in each phase. Okay. The first one is ingestion. Right? That's where everything begins, right? The intake of food through the mouth. That begins the process of what? Of digestion, right? Phase number 2, what happens? Peristalsis, right? So now we've just taken food through the mouth, right? Broken it down through what? Chewing, biting, okay? Grinding, okay? We're going to look at this in detail, right? Right. What happens there? We then now swallow the food, and it has to go down all the way to the stomach. Okay? It goes through the long tube called esophagus, and that process is called peristalsis, right? Movement of food down the esophagus. Okay? Phase number 3. What happens? Mechanical and chemical digestion. Okay? That's the process of converting what? Food into soluble nutrients. So now the mechanical digestion is in the form of biting, chewing, grinding, mixing, all that. Okay? Then now in chemical digestion, we look at the what? Enzymes that are supposed to be released or that are released to digest each and every nutrient that we eat with our food. Okay? There's an enzyme that digests what? The proteins, the one that digests what? All the other nutrients. Right, so we're looking at that. Okay. Phase number 4, absorption takes place. Okay. This occurs when solid nutrients are taken up by the bloodstream. Okay, in the what? Intestines. Okay. In this case, we're talking about the what? The small intestine. That's where absorption takes place. Okay. Stage number 5, which is the last phase of the digestion. Okay. It occurs when now undigested food materials called feces are then passed out of the body through the what? Through the anus. So these are the 5 phases of digestion. All right. Let's look at these phases one by one. Find out what happens in each phase. Okay. We start with the what? Ingestion. Okay. Food enters the human digestive tract through the mouth or oral cavity. Okay, right, as you can see from the diagram, someone is enjoying the fruit there. Okay, right, what happens in this phase? Teeth mechanically break down food into small pieces. The tongue mixes food with saliva, right? This saliva contains an enzyme which is called salivary amylase. It is the one which helps break down what? Starch. Like I say that each enzyme is responsible, right, for digesting what? A particular what? Nutrient. So we've got the enzyme salivary amylase, which is responsible for the digestion of starch. Okay? It is found in the mouth. Okay? It's released by the what? By the tongue from the what? Salivary glands. Okay? So that's digestion. Okay? Now we go to peristalsis, right? What happens in peristalsis? Okay? The holes of the esophagus and the rest of the canal are built up of muscly layers. Okay? Now, shown in the diagram there, what we see there, right? You can see that food is now going down to the stomach all the way from the what? The mouth. It has been swallowed. Okay? Now, the process of what? Peristalsis is taking place, where the food is now swallowed and goes down all the way from the what? From the mouth to the stomach through that long tube called the esophagus. That process on its own is called peristalsis. Okay? Right. The esophagus is approximately 20 centimeters long. Okay? Its functions include to secrete mucus and also to move food from the throat to the stomach using muscle movement called peristalsis. Okay, called peristalsis. So it's a process on its own which requires the muscles, right, to move. The muscles to what? To contract and take part so that the process goes well. Right, that's peristalsis. Okay, now we'll go to the other part of digestion. Now, we want to find out the types of what? Digestion. Okay, we say that digestion is in two forms. That is mechanical and chemical digestion. Okay, so we want to look at each of these two types of what? Digestion. Okay, we've got two types. Okay, that is the mechanical. We can refer to it as what? As physical, because this process of mechanical digestion is a physical one. Right? What happens? This includes what? Chewing. Okay, when you're chewing, you are physically doing the activity. All right, so that's a mechanical part of what? Digestion. Okay, tearing. Okay, tearing food. Normally we use what? Our teeth. Right? Grinding. Okay, mashing, mixing. So those are the examples of what? Mechanical what? Digestion. Okay, now look at the what? Other part of what? Digestion, which is the chemical digestion. Right? What happens in chemical digestion? Okay, enzymatic reactions to improve what? Digestion of what? Of carbohydrates, of proteins, and of lipids. So in this case, that's when now the enzymes come in, right? Because they are the ones which release these chemicals that are responsible for breaking down each of the what? Nutrients. So enzymes are the ones which are involved in the chemical part of digestion. Okay, so these are two types of what? Digestion. That's the mechanical and the chemical digestion. All right. Now let's look at the stomach as we continue looking at these components of the alimentary canal one by one. Okay, there is a structure of the what? Of the stomach. Okay, let's look at it in detail. Right, this one is a J-shaped muscular bag that stores the food to eat. It breaks it down into tiny pieces. Okay, then now this food is now mixed with what? Digestive juices that contain enzymes that break down proteins and lipids. All right. Then we've got an acid which is called the hydrochloric acid, right? The HCl. It is the one which is found in the stomach, which kills bacteria. The food we eat should not be contaminated food, right? The bacteria that is present in the food is killed by the what? Hydrochloric acid, so that the food that is absorbed into our bloodstream, okay, is food which is healthy and clean and purified, so that whatever the food is going to be used by the body for is going to be used for what? For a good use. Right. Food found in the stomach is called the chyme. Okay, that's the food that is found in the what? In the stomach. Right. So the stomach is a very essential structure that is found within the alimentary what? Canal. Right. So it is the one which stores the food that we eat for further digestion to what? To take place. All right. So now let's look at what? Absorption part. Okay. Nutrients from the food then pass into the bloodstream through small intestine walls. Okay, right. This is the structure of the what? The small intestine. Okay, there it is shown in that. There it is shown in the what? In the color there, which is pinkish. Right. So that's small what? Intestine. All right. If you look at the structure there, you can see some other parts of the alimentary what? Canal, right? That include we've got the liver at the top, then we've got the stomach there, and then we've got the what? The large intestine. Remember, we discussed that we've got two types of what? Intestine. Okay, we've got what? The large intestine and the small intestine. So we are looking at the what? The small intestine, which is the one responsible for absorption, right? Where food is now what? Passed into the what? Bloodstream. Okay, right, through the what? The walls of the small intestine. Okay, small intestine absorbs, okay, 80% ingested what? Water, right? It also absorbs what? Vitamins, right? Minerals, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and also secretes what? Digestive enzymes, which are further on, right? Finish up the what? The process of what? Digestion. So the enzymes are very, very important because they are the ones which secrete all the chemicals that further on break down the food into soluble nutrients, which can be absorbed by the what? Bloodstream. Okay, right, through the what? Small intestine holes. Okay, right. Then now we look at the large intestine and the rectum. The large intestine and the what? And the rectum. Okay, right. What you need to know about the large intestine? It is about 1.5 meters long. Okay, very, very long. Okay, except what small intestines don't absorb. So everything which cannot be absorbed by the small intestine is absorbed by the large intestine. All right. Now look at the rectum. This is the short-term storage which holds feces before it is what? Before it is expelled from our bodies or released from our bodies. Okay. Right. Let's look at these two parts of the alimentary canal. Right. We have to find first of all the large intestine, which is shown clearly there, right? That's the large intestine. We also refer to it as the colon, right? Then we also spoke about the rectum. The rectum is just above the anus. It is the one which stores, okay, feces temporarily before they are released, okay, by the what? By the anus as they exit our bodies, right? Shown on the diagram is also showing other components of the alimentary what? Canal, okay, which starts from the mouth, the top there, and also showing the salivary glands. Remember, we spoke about the what? Salivary glands, which are released, okay, the what? The salivary amylase enzyme, which breaks down what? Starch in the mouth, okay. Now, if the esophagus, that's where now the process of what? Peristalsis takes place, when the food is now what? Taken all the way from the mouth to the stomach. There is the stomach. Right. Then other components that we see there include what? The liver, right? The pancreas, the gallbladder. So we're going to look at all those organs in detail as we move through with our lesson. Okay. Right. Let's move on and look at the what? Our first activity. That's activity number 1. Right, we've got 3 questions. Okay, it says number 1, state the 2 types of digestion. Right, number 2, where does absorption of soluble substances take place? Then number 3, name the acid found in the stomach which kills bacteria. Right, so we're going to have enough time for this activity so that we won't be able to have some excuses of not finishing up. Okay, so we're going to have 5 minutes for this activity. Thereafter, we'll look at the corrections. Right, let's get started. Right, welcome back. Let's look at the activity and we go through the what? The answers that we need to have written for this activity. Number one, it says state the two types of digestion. Right, two types of digestion, and these are the mechanical and chemical what? Digestion. Right, so we've got two types of what? Digestion, and these are the mechanical and chemical digestion. Right, if you are to recall, we just discussed that mechanical is the physical process, which includes biting, tearing, grinding, etc. Right, then chemical digestion is the one which involves, right, the enzymes, right, each of them digesting what? Each of the nutrients. Right, so let's go to number two, which says, where does absorption of soluble substances take place? Where does absorption of soluble substances take place? Okay, it takes place in the small intestine. Okay, that's where what? The digestion of what? The absorption of what? Soluble what? Substances. Remember that. Now, once digestion is complete, food is to what? Absorbed, okay, into the bloodstream, okay, through the what? The small intestine walls. Okay, number three, name the acid found in the stomach which kills bacteria. Which acid are we talking about in this case? Okay, the one that we usually refer to as HCl, which is the hydrochloric acid. That's acid which gets rid of what? Of bacteria, which is found in the stomach. Right, so that's the end of activity number one. Remember to write corrections and make sure that next time when we meet such questions, we're able to produce correct answers to each of them. Right, let's look at now what the large intestine. Right, the large intestine. Okay, now from the diagram we can easily locate the what? The large intestine. Right, there it is. That's the large intestine. Right, then we've got the small intestine. Right, then we've got the what? The stomach just above the large intestine. So we want to look at the location of the large intestine and also find out its role, okay, and what it is made up of and what role it plays within the what? Alimentary canal and the digestive system at large. Okay, right, let's find out the functions of the large intestine. Okay, these include bacterial what? Digestion. Okay, and also fermentation of what? Of carbohydrates. Okay, right, it absorbs more water than the what? The small intestine or than any other part of the alimentary canal. Right, it also concentrate waste. Okay, remember all the undigested what? Food material is supposed to be taken out. Okay, all the way from the what? The large intestine to the rectum and out of the body through the anus. Okay, so that's the large intestine. Okay, now we look at the accessory organs that include the glands. Okay, so we're talking about them one by one. Find out the location of each and what role they play. Okay, within the what? Alimentary canal. Okay, this includes the what? The liver, right? The gallbladder and the what? And the pancreas. Right, so we're looking at these three in detail. Find out the location of each of them and what role each of these play within what? The alimentary canal. Right, so we're going to start off by looking at the what? The liver. Okay, it directly affects digestion by producing what? Bile. Okay, it directly affects digestion by producing what? Bile. That's the liver. Okay, it is the one responsible for producing what? Bile. Okay, right, so in the diagram you can see the liver there, right, enlarged so that we can easily find out the parts that make up the liver and how it is structured. Okay, right, then now bile, which is produced by the liver, helps to digest what? Fat. Okay, it helps to digest what? fat. Okay? And also the liver is the one responsible for filtering out toxins, okay, and waste, including drugs and alcohol and poisons, okay? So whenever we eat poisonous food, right, the liver is the one which purifies the what? The toxins, okay? And removes the what? The poison from our food that we eat or from whatever we drink, okay? It is the one which filters out all the waste, okay, products, so that our bodies are able to what? To have only the what? The clean what? Or purified, okay, food materials which are ready to be digested and absorbed into the what? Bloodstream, so that we can grow healthy and also be what? Safe from what? From main diseases that can affect our health. Okay, so the liver plays a very vital role in that case. Okay, then look at the gallbladder, right? The gallbladder, let's find out its location. There it is, the gallbladder, just under the what? The liver. There is the liver at the top, right? As you can see, the liver. Then just underneath there, we've got what? The gallbladder, which is labeled in a green pigment there. That's the gallbladder. Okay. Then we've got the what? Shown again, we've got the pancreas just under the stomach. That's the stomach there. That's pancreas. Then we've got the what? The duodenum, which is part of the what? The small intestine. Okay. That's the gallbladder. Right. What does it do? Its role is for what? Storing what? Bile, which is produced by the what? By the liver. Okay. So it stores bile from the liver and releases it into the small intestine. Okay, so you can see that now all these organs, they work hand in hand with each other so that the process of digestion takes place in a proper way and is completely what? Undertaken. All right, so that's the gallbladder. All right, it also, now we talk about the fats, right? Fat diets, remember, they can cause what? The gallstones. So now we need to make sure that our diet is safe from the what? Such conditions. Okay. Now look at the pancreas. Okay, the pancreas. Can you look at the pancreas? There it is. Okay, labeled in a what? In yellow there. That's the pancreas, right? And other parts again that we just discussed, including the liver there at the top. Okay, and the gallbladder, right? Then above there we've got what? The stomach. We've got the stomach. Right, then for the duodenum. So the pancreas is there, right? Yellow, right? There it is. What's the role of the pancreas? Okay, it produces what? Digestive enzymes. To what? To digest fats. Okay, carbohydrates and proteins. That's the role of the what? Of the pancreas. Okay, it's the one which produces what? Digestive enzymes, which are responsible for digesting, right, a number of these nutrients, which include fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. It plays a very vital role within the what? Alimentary canal and the digestive system. Okay, right. It also regulates blood sugar, okay, by producing what? Insulin. So our sugar that is found in our bodies in the blood is regulated so that the body can have only the what? The minimum that it can need. Okay, so we don't have to have excess what? Sugar, which might end up putting our health at risk. So we've got this very important organ, part of the alimentary canal, which regulates the blood sugar. Okay, right. And then now look at digestion, right? Digestion. What happens in digestion? In this case now, we're looking at the what? At the last phase of digestion. Okay? What happens? Stools are temporarily stored in the rectum. Okay? Can you look at the rectum? The diagram? Yes, there is the rectum. There is rectum. That's where we've got what? A temporary storage of what? Of food. Then what happens now? Finally, the food is what? Digested through the what? The anus. Okay? So now the food is first of all what? Temporarily stored in the rectum. In that case, it will be in the form of what? Waste material, right? Called feces. Then it's taken out from our bodies through the what? Through the anus. There's anus. That's where we've got digestion of what? Undigested food material, which is now our waste material, and it is feces that is exited from our bodies through the what? Through the anus. Okay? So this is the last what? Phase of digestion, which is digestion. Right? Remember those stages? We said we've got what? Ingestion, peristalsis, okay? Then mechanical and what? Chemical digestion. We've got absorption. Then finally we've got what? Digestion. So those are the phases of digestion. All right. Now we come to the last activity, which is activity number 2, right? With only 2 questions, right? Number 1 says, state the function of the liver, right? Remember that the liver has got a number of functions, right? So write as many as you can for that question. Number 2, what's the function of the pancreas? And again, we've got a lot to write about in this case, right? Want to know the function for each of these parts of the what? Alimentary canal. Right. I'm going to give you a time of 4 minutes to deal with this activity. Then I know that you're going to produce very good and correct answers. So let's start with our activity. Right, welcome back. I'm sure you're able to finish up the activity. Right. Number one, it says state the function of the liver. Right. From a number of the functions that the liver carries out. Okay, we're going to look at just a few there. Right. The first one, it filters out toxins and waste. Okay, from our bodies. Okay, that's the main function of the liver. Right. It also helps digest what? Fats. So these are the two main functions of the liver. Right. Number two, what's the function of the pancreas? Okay. It produces what? Digestive enzymes. Okay. Remember that these enzymes are the ones which are needed in the chemical process of digestion. Okay. Right. Then also the pancreas regulates what? Blood sugar. Right. We are supposed to have, right, just the minimum amount of sugar present in our what? In our bloodstream. Okay. Excess blood sugar will cause what? Will cause some diseases and also affect our health directly. So we need to have such an organ which is able to regulate the amount of sugar in our blood. Okay, so these are the answers to activity number 2, which is also our last activity. Remember to make sure that you also communicate with us through our WhatsApp number. Send all your questions so that we can easily interact with you to help you with any challenges that you might be coming across through. Okay, right. Our WhatsApp number, that's 079 578 2908. So keep on working with us through the WhatsApp number. Okay. Now let's look at the summary of our lesson as we find out everything that we've been discussing, right? Reminding each other, right? We spoke about the parts of the alimentary canal, right? And we said that the alimentary canal is the one which makes sure that food moves all the way from the mouth, okay, and to all the body parts until it is absorbed into the bloodstream, right? Then also spoke about what? The digestion, right? And we've got the components of the what? Digestive system. Remember that digestion is in the what? Form of 2 parts. That is the mechanical digestion and the chemical digestion. And all this begins in the mouth through a process of what? Ingestion, right? Ingestion, where the food is what? Is taken, right? Through the what? Through the mouth. That's ingestion. That's the beginning of the process of what? Digestion. Right. As you can see from the diagram, what happens? The food is taken, right, through the mouth. Okay. What happens? We've got some salivary glands there, which release an enzyme called salivary amylase. Okay, which breaks down what? Starch in the food that we eat. Then what happens now? Once the food is now been what? Chewed, okay, beaten and torn into smaller pieces. It is now what? Swallowed. Okay? It goes down now from the what? From the mouth to the stomach. There is the stomach through a long tube which is called the esophagus. Okay? And this happens through a process called peristalsis. Okay? Through a process of what? Peristalsis. Okay? What happens now? Remember, in the stomach, we also spoke about what? The presence of the acid, which is called the hydrochloric acid. Okay? Hydrochloric acid is the one which kills the bacteria found in the food. So this acid is found in the stomach. Okay? So that the food that is now going to be absorbed into our bloodstream is not intoxicated. Okay? Right. It doesn't also have what? Bacteria. Remember that if you are to recall, on the disease part, we've got bacterial diseases which affect our health. So we don't need to put our health in such a risk. So now the HCl, which is the hydrochloric acid, is very important by making sure that all the bacteria which is found in the food that we've just eaten is what? is removed and is destroyed. Okay. Then also spoke about what? The liver. Right. There is the liver. Right. We say the liver is the one which what? Which produces what? The bile. Right. Which is secreted into the what? Into the food. Okay. The liver is also responsible for what? Filtering out toxins and waste. Okay. Which destroy what? Our health system. And also the liver is the one which also helps in what? Digestion of what? Of fats. Okay. Right. Then we've got what? The gallbladder, just down there below the what? The liver. The gallbladder produces what? Bile. Okay. Right. This bile is important into the what? Into the digestive system. Right. We also have got what? The pancreas. It's for the pancreas, and said it is also the one responsible for what? Regulation of what? Of blood sugar. Regulation of blood sugar. Okay, that's the pancreas. Right. Then now, if you look down there, we've got some intestines, and they're in two parts. They've got what? The large intestine, which is also referred to as the colon. Right. Then we've got what? The small intestine. Right. Just in the middle there. Okay. Now what happens in these intestines? Okay. They each have got different roles to play. Okay. What happens? We start with what? The small intestine. Remember, in the small intestine, that's where absorption takes place. Okay. What to recall that? We say that the small intestine, what it absorbs about 80% of water that we ingest in our body. Okay. Then also it is the one which absorbs nutrients such as what? Carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Okay. Then now go to the large intestine, which is the colon. Right. This one absorbs everything that has not been absorbed by the small intestine. Okay. And also absorbs more water. Okay. Then now it is the one which is also responsible for carrying out the process of what? Digestion, whereby the undigested food material has to go through it all the way to the rectum. There is the rectum. What's the rectum? That's where you've got a temporary storage of food products which have not been digested, or waste. In this case, they'll be in the form of what is called feces. Right? They are temporarily stored in the rectum before being finally what? Extracted from our bodies through the anus down there. Right. So that's the summary of our lesson. Right. Remember to keep in touch with us by communicating with us through the what? Through WhatsApp number. Send your questions and all your comments. Okay. To our WhatsApp number 079 578 2908. Okay. And also continue working on the questions to do with our today's lesson as you keep on preparing for your end of term tests and examinations, so that when we meet these questions, you won't fail to produce correct answers. Okay. Now, I hope you found this lesson quite informative and interesting. Let's meet again next time. Thank you so much.